My name is Amy Marino, and I am the product manager at EasySoft, and I've been assisting and supporting attorneys with their real estate transactions since 2011. Today, I will be discussing how easy it is to calculate your cash to close, how to enter your tax proration, projected payments, government recording, your title searches, 1099s, and your ledger. I'm going to begin today's webinar on the home page because this is where all of your matters lie. As you can see at the top, you have your home button, your wrench, which is your address book, your help and community, EasySoft community, and your account information. Your account information simply states all of your personal information to the firm. You have your default settlement agent and your InfoTrack credentials, which I will be discussing a little bit later on in accordance with your 1099s and your title searches. You have several different views that can be customized on this page. As you can see, I'm showing all matters, which in a related firm, all related employees can see each other's matters. They just can't delete the matters if they haven't created them. I can change it to my matters, and I can search specific matters as well. On the matter screen, if you select the new matter, it will create a new closing disclosure. By clicking on the drop down, I can create either a CD or a HUD. For all intents and purposes, in today's webinar, I'm going to be selecting one that I've already created with very minimal information. I'm going to have your closing information where the date's issued, your closing date and your disbursement date will pre-populate. Once your closing date has been selected, your settlement agent comes over from your default settings. You enter your file number, your property address, and then you put in your transaction information, your borrowers, your sellers, your lenders, and your interested parties by simply clicking on the pencil. In this section, you would select the name of the borrower. If there are multiple borrowers, you would put the primary check box in the borrower that you would like to show on the matter screen. Simply click Save, and that information is retained. To add more borrowers, simply click on the plus sign. The next section is your loan information. You have your loan term, your purpose, maybe purchase, refinance, construction, or home equity. Your loan product, which could be fixed. The loan type, you have your FHA, your VA, or other, your loan ID, so on and so forth. The most important part of this section is to actually put in your loan information, the number of years, your sale price or your appraised property value or your estimated property value. I've put in $500,000. Putting in your loan terms, 400. I put in the interest rate as 4.25, and it automatically calculates your monthly principal and interest. If you'd like your principal and interest calculated weekly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, quarterly, or annually, you can also select those, and you'll see that the figures are changing accordingly. You have your projected payments. You have up to a 4-year period. You could put in your balloon payments, your range of payments. By simply clicking in the box, it will show you your minimum or maximum. Entering the information for principal and interest, mortgage, and insurance will then estimate your total monthly payment. You may notice that some of the boxes are highlighted in gray. Those you cannot type in because they are pre-populating from information that you are putting in the closing disclosure. The white boxes, you need manual entry, and then there will be a lighter gray, which you can change. If you notice at the bottom of the screen, it automatically estimates your cash to close. This is also pulling information from page 2 and from page 3. We move on to page 2, which are all of your loan costs, your origination charges, your services borrower did not shop for, that they did shop for. Total loan costs are automatically calculated for you, and your other costs regarding taxes and other government charges. I'm just going to put simple calculations in here so you can see how easy the software calculates for you. By just putting in the percentage of loan amount points, you'll notice that the origination charge pre-populates up at the top and also in the borrower paid at closing section. You'll notice if I type in a letter, there's a pre-populated form as well. On the actual PDF, it will appropriately put these in alphabetical order. Again, noticing that everything is calculated up at the top so you can clearly see and read everything that the borrower is responsible for. You'll also note that I'm going to put in some seller paid before and after closing and some paid by others. You'll notice that there aren't gray boxes up at the top. This is in accordance to the CFPB rules so that consumers can see exactly what they are responsible for. The calculated seller and paid by others columns will be calculated at the bottom of this page. You'll notice that the calculations are being calculated just by you entering those figures. Your taxes and your government charges, you can see that there's none used for manual calculation. By all means, you can manually calculate if you'd like, but we have taken the liberty of adding all of your jurisdictions within this box. You simply need to select your jurisdiction. The recording box pulls up. You simply click Save at the bottom. A message tells you that the taxes in this section will be updated, and you click OK. As you can see, the deed was $300, the mortgage was $5, and it calculates your $800 and what the seller paid at closing. It's that simple. You're also going to be able to put in your prepaid interest. Let's say you pay $20 per day from 8/1 through 10/25. You'll notice that your borrower paid at closing is $1,700. Your initial escrow payments at closing are pre-populated from your homeowner's insurance, your mortgage insurance, and your property tax. Again, simply put in the figure what amount you're paying per month, for how many months. It pre-populates and adds the total up at the top. In accordance, you'll see at the bottom where it says total closing costs, it allows the user to know exactly where these totals are coming from and enters them in there for you. Again, cannot be changed, being pre-calculated from pages 1 and 2. We move on to page 3, which is our calculating cash to close and our summaries of transactions. I tell all my clients to bypass the calculating cash to close section for now until they enter the summary of transactions below. You'll notice that in this section, there are gray boxes that are pre-populated from the summaries of transactions. So there's no need for duplicate entries or anyone to get frustrated by not being able to add what they need to. This section pre-populates the cash to close. An example of this is in the L section, you have a deposit. I'll put that deposit as $9,000. And you'll notice when I move to the top, that $9,000 is now pre-populated under the deposit section for the final summary of transactions. We're going to move on to the tax proration portion of the software. By simply clicking on the tax proration tool, you're able to account for the city, county, assessment, school, and sewer. It pre-populates an annual tax for you. You can change this to monthly, quarterly, or semi-annually. You're responsible to put in the payable to information. The started date of tax is automatically populated, and so is the closing date. The number of days in tax is also populated. You need to put in the amount due for the tax and the amount the seller paid. We pre-populate the amount the seller is responsible for and calculate the per diem or over or under payment. In this example, I'm showing you that there's an overpayment of $202. When I click apply, it will move to the appropriate box where the seller paid in advance. You'll notice that the city, town taxes are here, and it moves over to the seller side as well. In the same example, I'm going to change the amount to an underpayment. You'll notice that it underpaid, it put the appropriate amount. When you click apply, it's removed it from the advance payment on both sides and has put it in the appropriate place unpaid by seller. As you can see, there's no dual entry necessary. The software automatically puts it on the buyer side and the seller side, which is very convenient. I'm going to give you another example of the school tax. Again, you'll see that the tax period is annual. Pre-populates the start and close. I'm going to put in the amount, what the seller paid. You'll notice that it was an underpayment of $108.22. I'm going to apply that, and you'll notice under assessments, school is located at $108.22, $108.22. Makes sense. Page 4 is the loan disclosures, your assumptions, your escrow account, your late payments, your negative amortization. All of this information is adjustable to what is needed on this specific closing. Page 5 is your loan calculations, which automatically populate for you. All you would need to put in is the annual percentage rate. It also lists all of your contact information and allows you to include either the consumer's confirm receipt signature section. You can print in the seller's signature addendum and the interested party's signature addendum. I'm going to move on to the ledger. The ledger simply states the transaction summary. It shows you all of the deposits and all the payments and the difference. Within this section, you can add transactions and you can combine checks and you can print checks. What needs to happen is you need to look through this thoroughly. If you do see any discrepancies on this page, go back to the pages where that information lies, change it, and then re-import the ledger. At that juncture, you'll be able to edit, combine, or print the checks without the hassle of importing. You can also print the ledger statement. This is the closing ledger, which shows you all of your deposits in one section, all of your payments in another, and authorized payments signatures. To file the 1099 at the end of each closing is as simple as clicking a button. We have integrated with InfoTrack. You can do your 1099s by simply clicking on the 1099 button. Most of your information is pre-populated, and the form tells you which information is necessary. You can add multiple sellers by just clicking Add New, and more seller information pulls up. You could print your 1099 substitute form, your exemption form. If you don't have all the necessary information, no worries. All you need to do is save as pending. You can come back to it as a later date with all the information that you pre-populated already saved. And of course, you can submit with one click of a button. I'm going to go back to the home page of InfoTrack because this is also where you can do your title searches. Most of your information is pre-populated from your closing disclosure. You'll need to enter the necessary information and click Submit. It's that simple. Your title services, you can print your Fidelity financial protection letters. I will show you how to do a HUD as well. Here is your HUD statement. You'll see at the top of the screen, very similar to the closing disclosure. All of this is still applicable to you. You have your page 1, page 2, page 3, your ledger, and your 1099. In accordance, you would click on the pencil to put in your borrower, your seller, and your lender, and you would move down the track with the necessary information. The software asks you for the information and then calculates the cash to close for you. By simply adding your figures in, you're ready to go. No effort is needed on your part to calculate, as these complex calculations can get daunting. If you do have any questions regarding the HUD or the CD, please don't hesitate to contact me. Again, my name is Amy Marino. You can reach me at amy.marino, MARINHO, at easysoft-usa.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was a pleasure. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Have a wonderful day.